Good everyone, this is Rita Joy and welcome to the Unbox Your Gift podcast, how to switch your passion into a profession. The question that I've got today in this episode is how can I get better and stronger when I honestly feel overwhelmed and unmotivated to do anything? How can I get better and stronger when I honestly feel overwhelmed and unmotivated to do anything? So here's what I would say to that. Number one, that question by default tells me that your mind is scattered. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you're unmotivated, it's because overwhelm comes from your mind is focused on too many things. Like there's scatterbrain. I could do this, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. And unmotivated is because nothing seems to just light a fire in you. It's like maybe you're unmotivated because you've tried things and they haven't worked out. And you have a track record of things not working out to the way that you want. And that's what makes us demotivated, or in this word, unmotivated, because we have a track record of that we've tried to do something in the past and the results weren't what we expected or what we wanted. And that, makes us kind of suppress our feelings, suppresses our efforts to want to take the next step. And so here's what I would suggest to you. Number one, you have to pick to get overwhelmed, because overwhelm creates frustration. So if you're overwhelmed, there's too much to do. Then having too much to do, you get frustrated. And then frustration leads to procrastination because you're frustrated. I don't know what to do. So then you go through YouTube, or you go through Facebook, or you spend time watching cat videos, because frustration leads to procrastination. And that comes from overwhelm. So the root cause of it is there's too much to do. I don't know what to do first. There's too much things to do and I can't pick what I want to do. Oh, and I've got to do that and I've got to do that. And it's too hard. So overwhelm. Overwhelms the brain, obviously, in your mind, leads to frustration. Frustration leads to just wasting time. Then it goes into guilt. When you procrastinate and you waste time, it goes into guilt. Oh, I had all this time. I had 5 hours today. I had 2 hours today and I did jack all. I didn't do anything. So the way that I would my advice to remedy overwhelm is to pick one thing that you want to work on. You have to do that. And you've got to stick to that. And the way that I would suggest to pick one thing, if you've listened to previous episodes, you would know that there is something called the passion process. In fact, in yesterday's episode, I gave a whole buffet of different ways to find your passion. But if I was going to go, and I guess what I'm trying to do is minimize overwhelm for you here. If I could just give you one thing to do, and that you could do this very second while you're listening to me right now, is grab a pen and paper. Grab a pen and paper. I'll wait 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And now on the paper, I want you to write on the left-hand side, everything I do not like. Everything I do not like. Then put a line down the middle, and on the right-hand side, write down everything I like. So what I want you to do on the left-hand side is I want you to write everything that turns you off in a job, in life, anything. Just get it all on paper. Get it all out, because you're feeling a lot of overwhelm. You're feeling really unmotivated. So I know this is prime time to just splurge it all out. Just get it all on paper. So write down everything that turns you off, like irritates you, you hate it, it's annoying you, it just frustrates you, you don't want to do it. Get it all down and don't edit your thinking. Don't care about spelling mistakes. It's not going to be published anywhere. It's just for your eyes, and to just get it all out. And let it be long. Let it be as long as you want it to be. But get everything that you do not like out. Now that you've got it out, because if you can't find what you're good at, or if you don't know what's going to motivate you, or if you can't find that one thing that lights you up, once you have all those things on the left-hand side that you do not enjoy, what you're going to see is, well, what's the opposite of that? The opposite, I don't want to be alone. Well, the opposite of that is to be in the company of other people. Oh, I'm sick of being with people. Well, the opposite of being with people is to be alone. Can you see? You'll see the opposite, because you can't, from the top of your mind, figure out what it is that lights you up. It's because there's so much, like you say, overwhelm in the question. There's so much overwhelm, and you don't know, you have more on your mind that what you don't like than what you do. So get that all down. And once it's all down, now you know what to do for the opposite. And so what you like to do just becomes a bit more easier. But you just got to pick one thing. You got to pick one thing. Now, you might be a multi-passionate person. I'm a multi-passionate person. I have so many things I want to do. But the moment I start to overwhelm myself, I tend to get frustrated and I tend to procrastinate. I'm the one that's, reading a book. I'm reading a book and I should be reading a book. I should be getting on with the task at hand. But no, reading a book just feels like really comfortable to me right now because I'm in control. I'm in the zone, or I'm going through Facebook. No, that doesn't work. So, and then I'm going to feel guilty afterwards, right? So for you to get really clear, everything you don't like, the opposite of that is what you do, right? Once you get it all down, then pick one thing from that list that you do like and that you do want to do. And then you just move from that. And I remember in yesterday's episode, I said clarity comes from engagement. Once you do that one thing, if you don't like it, then change it. But first start with one thing. And to get rid of overwhelm, that's why you want to do that exercise, because it will dissect that overwhelm for you. So number one, do the exercise. What do you don't like? Line in the middle, and then put it all down, and then do the opposite and just pick one thing from the right-hand side of what you do want to do. Now, what I do want to talk about in the question, and I'm just analyzing the question right now, is that once you have that, the questioner also says to me, how can I get better and stronger when I honestly feel over? Getting better and stronger is a muscle. Getting better and stronger is a muscle. I don't know if you ever knew Ian Thorpe was just a phenomenal swimmer. And I used to think, when I used to hear about how many gold he's won and how many world records he's broken, because of his height. If you don't know, Ian Thorpe is an Australian world champion Olympic swimmer. I used to believe that he could just, because he's so tall and he's just like, his physique is built for swimming. Like it's like his calling. And he retired from the sport, from swimming, and then he announced his return to the sport. And I thought when he announced his return, he's just going to crush it again. Like he did previously. He doesn't need to even train. Because his body, his physique, his stamina, his grit, he knows what it takes. Like, he's been there, done that. He's just going to just crush it. Interestingly enough, when he came back to train again, he wasn't the same. Like, his training and the results weren't the same as what they used to be. And that surprised me, because I thought that guy could just get into a swim and he could just beat anyone, but it's not the case. Because when the questioner asks me, how do I get better and stronger? It's a muscle that always has to be worked on. Just like Ian Thorpe. Just when I thought, he's got it made, doesn't matter, he's been in retirement. He just got to build up his training schedule and he's back up and at 'em. But that's not the case. So strength and betterment comes from, it's like a muscle. And the one way that I have recognized to increase that muscle in myself, and it's an effort that has to take place every single day. So I have never arrived at this. It's an effort that takes place every single day, is keeping my word to myself. That's one way of becoming better and one way of becoming stronger. Because when you can keep your word to yourself, you build confidence that no one can take away from you. What do I mean by that? When you say you're going to wake up at 5 a.m. and you do. When you say you're going to go for a workout and you do. When you say you're going to call your mum and you do. When you say you're going to be there for your parents and you do. When you say you're going to go to a particular meeting and you're there on time. When you keep your word to yourself, even the tiniest of things, it has a huge repercussion in getting you to become stronger and better. Why? Because now you know you can trust yourself. You can rely on yourself. That's the biggest confidence. Because when God gives an opportunity that allows you to excel in some avenue, some space in your life, you're not going to doubt your ability and think, oh, can I do it? Am I enough? Am I good enough? Oh, sugar, I did that thing and I didn't do it. I'm not sure if I can do it. You don't get into that double-minded, disillusioned conversation in your brain. What happens is, because you've been allowing yourself to build trust in yourself by keeping your word to yourself. When God gives an opportunity, you're more likely to go, I'll do it and I'll work it out as I go. I may not have all the answers of how to do it. Say in a work situation or in any situation, you will work it out because you can just trust yourself that you'll find a way. And that comes from meeting for the coffee date on time, meeting for the gym date on time. Just being and keeping to your word creates betterment and strength in character. And that's really the greatest strength that we need. Because when that's in place, then we can now execute on a level that, you could have all the strategy. Marissa Peer says that you would rather have self-belief than talent, because there's plenty of people that have talent but have no self-belief in themselves. And so you would rather have self-belief than talent if you had to choose one, because self-belief will allow you to execute, whereas talent is, well, I'm good at soccer, or I'm good at being a production manager, I'm good at being a project manager, I'm good at doing X, Y, Z. But if you don't have belief in yourself, then you're never going to execute and realize your full potential. And the way to do that, in which I've recognized, if you keep your word to yourself. And how do you do that? How do you build that muscle? Is just to keep to every commitment. That's why when you give a commitment to yourself or to anybody else, you're very critical of not overstretching yourself, so that you meet those obligations, that you meet those commitments, because ultimately that's what builds confidence. Confidence builds self-belief. Belief allows you to now execute on a level that motivates you, gives you strength, builds skill, and allows you to be able to do what you want to do, eradicates overwhelm. So in summation, of this question, and it's a loaded question because God knows, I think most people can admit to at least one point in their time feeling unmotivated, feeling overwhelmed, feeling like, how can I get better, stronger? But that muscle has to be built every single day. Being better and stronger than yesterday and than last week, it's just a muscle of character that has to be built by keeping words to yourself. But in terms of overwhelm, you've got to now strip a lot of thinking and overthinking away from your mind, which is why I gave you that exercise. And also, to get motivated, motivation comes from, that you can succeed. And if you're playing a tape in your head that, I did that and it didn't do too well, and I did that, and oh my God, I'm just sick of trying and not getting anywhere. When that tape is being played, anybody will feel unsuccessful. Anyone will feel unmotivated. So it's important to know that you've got to stop repeating a tape that makes you feel that way. So one of the reasons that will get you to get energy and motivation, or get into that state of just being enthusiastic, is to get rid of the overwhelm by picking one thing through that exercise that will then allow you to get enthused, aka motivated. And the way to get strength and to build that up is to build the muscle by keeping your word to yourself every single time. Because when you can build to every single time, when you can build to that, not as in straight away if that's too overwhelming, but when you can build to that, that's when you will have ammunition that it can execute on anything that you want. Like if you want to smash your health, your health goals, you want to smash your professional goals, you want to smash your personal goals in terms of your family or children, whatever it might be. You have the tools, because nobody can take it away from you. It wasn't a course, it wasn't a book, it wasn't a person, it was you, focused on you, that was able to just upskill and up level in a way that just smashes it. All right, guys, so that was my A to your Q. Thank you so much for the questioner for asking me that question. And if you have any questions that you would like me to answer, please do email rita@unboxyourgift.com, and I'll be more than happy to give my A to your Q on how to turn a passion into a profession, on how to unbox your gift. So I also wanted to mention something else, guys. A lot of people have been asking me about the process of the passion process, actual itself. It's a 7-step process on how to find your passion, minus your resume. If you're in that position, you want to go to unboxyourgift.com, and it's a free download that allows you to find that for yourself. So you can find it all natural, how to find what you, and in fact, you could do it. There's a billion ways to find what you're good at. For me, this passion process helped me because I needed to tap into my personality. I needed to tap into what really spoke to me as a kid. I needed to tap into, well, what is going to pull me and not push me towards something like, and those are the things that I cover in the passion process. I needed to just like dip my toe into my childhood. I needed to dip my toe into my personality and my values. And I needed all that to give me a crux. And that's why I do what I do, because it speaks to me. Like, it was a passion process. I did it and I helped other people. I'm just providing that resource for free for others to find out for themselves. So if that appeals to you, if that sounds like something you'd like to do, by all means, go ahead. But if this has been of value to you guys, if this episode has given you some insight, has given you an aha moment, if you know that someone needs to get out of overwhelm and get a way of finding their own strength and finding their own level of grit, then please do share this episode. Please subscribe. Please, I'd love to hear your comments. And to wrap up, my advice to myself and to you is that life is a gift. Together, let's unbox it. God bless.